This story is about you. So there's a saying by Zora Hurston, and it says, "There's no agony like bearing an untold story inside of you." Tom Segura, a comedian, wrote a book. He says, "If you like barbecue, go tell the world you love barbecue. If you love tennis, go tell the world you love tennis." And this is important. You have to believe that you are meant to do your craft. You have to act, you have to dance, you have to write, you have to take a chance on yourself. So my story started when I decided to become a technician, as I couldn't join the faculty of engineering. I decided that being a quarter of an engineer is better than none. So after studying for 2 years, I had to join the mandatory Army service. And my father told me, "I can send you off to an easy unit. You don't have to do anything. It'll just be 20 months. You're just going to pass them quickly, and it's going to be over." So I told him, "No, Dad, you don't have to do that. Just let fate decide where I will go." And that was the stupidest thing I have ever said in my entire life, as I have witnessed the 3 worst days of my life. I didn't sleep for 3 days. I had only 1 meal, and it was extremely horrible. However, during this time, transformation happened. Away from my comfort zone, I decided that I will be an engineer. And I decided that I will do everything in my power to make it happen. So I did the following. In the next furlough, I went to Cairo University to ask about the yearly competition to join the faculty of engineering. And I knew that, or I learned that I can do it one time. I had only one chance, and I can do it in 1 year. So I did the following. I bought old books. I got notes from old friends, or old notes from friends. And I bugged off my teachers for almost 2 to 3 months until one of them finally agreed to give me private lessons. And I studied while in the Army for 11 to 12 months. I faced numerous difficulties, one of which I couldn't find a place to study. So I decided that I will study in the unit's office. One officer told me it's not allowed to study here. So I decided to investigate this further. I went to a higher ranking officer, and I told him, "I want to study. I want to become an engineer. Can you please help me?" So as I was a polite soldier, he said, "That's fine. You can do whatever you want. You can just study in the office or whatever." And he invited the other officer. So he told him, "We want to help this guy. Just let him study here or whatever." So the other officer said, "Yes, it's absolutely allowed to study here, so he can study here, whatever." So I studied for a few days, and then the floor door got suddenly locked. So I was so determined that time, nothing was going to stop me. So I hanged from the second floor window, and I jumped on the first floor terrace. And I got through the window, and I studied. I was not willing to waste these 2 hours. Some days I had no paper, I had no pens, I had no motivation whatsoever. So for paper, I made a lot of friends in the Army, not specifically for that reason, but some of them were in the print house in the Army. So they would print a lot of things that are distorted or that extra copies. So I would take them, I would say, "I can take them and just shred them for you, you don't have to worry about them." So I would take them, study on them, and just shred them later. For pens, I would get stranded for over a month there in the Army, so I would run out of pens. So what I would do is I scoured the whole unit to find pens, and I found old, bulky pens in some canteen, and I bought them. For motivation, I went to my friends and asked them, "I want to study, I want to become an engineer." And they gave me incredible encouragement. I remember one day that I was in the queue, and I reiterated to one of my friends theories of dynamic systems while waiting for the officer to come and lead the queue. So how can this story be about you? If you follow your life's true calling, then it becomes about you. So I succeeded in the competition, and I ranked second over all contestants. And I got into the university, and I achieved straight A's on the first year. However, something horrible happened in the first year, which was the death and sickness, or sickness and death of my mother. Her name was Shadia. Shadia is an Arabic name, and it means the woman who sings beautifully. And she did. Some days I wake up to the sound of her singing and her recitation of Quran. May your voice ring in my ears forever, and may you rest in peace. So rewind back 15 years, when I was a little boy, I got bullied severely as I was born and raised in Saudi Arabia, and I developed PTSD due to that. So one of the neighbors was my bully. And his father knew of his actions, and he didn't correct it. So my mother went to him and shouted at the man for not taking action, for not correcting his son's behavior. That's when she passed away, I realized how much of a supporter she was to me. And at that time, on the first year in the faculty, we had to choose our major in the Faculty of Engineering. Due to my ADHD and depression, which I was recently diagnosed of, I couldn't choose because it was extremely hard. So I resorted to my friends for support and for advice. Well, the first one gave me this response, and he became an expert in civil engineering. And he insisted that I join the department. Once again, he advised me. I said, thank you. The second one gave me very discouraging words. And he said, if you join electrical engineering, you're going to be okay, but if you join structural engineering, you're never going to see success in your life. So the moral from this story is, you have to know who your friends are. Carol Dweck, in her book, Mindset, she consulted with one of her friends. She said, she asked a dear old friend why she put up with the behavior of some of her friends. Even one of them flirted shamelessly with her husband. She said, if you're going to pick friends without flaws, you're going to end up diminishing your social circle severely. She also said that you have to know your values. Scott Peck, in his book, The Road Less Traveled, said that you have to be dedicated to the truth. Some people have white lies, and some people just go to other colors like gray or pink, whatever. But that doesn't work. You have to be extremely dedicated to the truth. And he says, if you elect growth, and if you elect change, then you elect the prospect of death with it. And this means the death of some of their friendships, if they go severely against our values. So while studying in the structural engineering department for 2 years, I realized something was wrong. I love all sciences, as structural engineering included. Even if you tell me now to do medicine, I would say, yeah, that's fascinating, let's do it. However, I didn't like the repetitive nature of the application of civil engineering or structural engineering. So I decided not to run away. So I decided to dig in further. I took a lot of courses in design and also in implementation and also in sites. And I discovered that I didn't like it. I also took electrical engineering courses and programming courses, and I discovered that I loved it, so I took action. I went to the professors and asked them to give me support and also to give me advice, some of which I got kicked out of their offices. Although that I looked at them as role models for the effort that they do and for their intelligence, I was deeply disappointed for what they did. So I went to the dean directly and asked him, I want to switch to the electrical engineering department. Can you please help me? He said, it's illegal to transfer this year, but you can transfer next year. In the next year, he didn't even agree to meet me. So I had no choice but to fix myself psychologically and also to continue studying. So I discovered that I had two inner mechanisms, one of which that I had shields to prevent me from developing further pain. Well, I was not conscious of these shields, but they became very clear once I broke them. And I did that through rigorous exercise. So I ran for long distances, like 10 kilometers, 16 kilometers. I did heavy weightlifting in the gym and other forms of exercise. So when you run, you're alone. If you run for 1 hour, it's really long. You're facing bone pain, muscle pain, breathlessness, and you think about everything, starting with pizza, and then you think about your life choices. You think about everything. So there was like a workshop going on inside of me. If you check Bonnie Ware's book, The 5 Regrets of the Dying, she did something similar when she had depression. She used utter and complete isolation and also contemplation and self-acceptance to get over her depression. If you want my advice, don't do any of that, as this can be extremely painful and lengthy. If you go to a psychiatrist, use pills or whatever, these can be just means to help you get over it. Healing is your own journey. As for support, I couldn't get over it. So my little sister was the little angel that helped me. Also my friend Sakina. So I couldn't stop pursuing my dream. So I applied for over 40 scholarships. A rejection after rejection, a no after no, and a year after year, I kept telling my story. Electronics, and it says, every component on a circuit board is a small creature. These creatures carry our current and do the heavy lifting for us. That's why we should take care of them and ensure that they don't conduct too much current through them that would hurt them. I've gained so much passion for electronics in the past few years. Please share this dream with me. So finally, I got accepted into a great scholarship and 3 great universities. So the final moral from this story is, love your mothers with deep passion that surpasses any other. Listen to your friends and family, as there are hidden messages that you would never hear if you didn't listen closely. Also, Scott Peck in his book says, you have to take responsibility of your healing. What you are now might not be your fault, but the healing is your own responsibility. So one final thing is, depression is not all bad. As I developed depression, I became very compassionate with my friends, family, and even people on the street. So one day, I met a man while driving my motorcycle, and he was waving at me. The weather was scorching, and I decided to give him a lift. So after dropping him off, the man kissed my shoulder as a sign of reciprocity. I was extremely moved by his action. But do we really need to get depression to be compassionate? So how can this story be about you? If you become compassionate with your friends, family, and people, this story also becomes about you. So one final thing, just don't drive anybody around, just be careful. It might be a serial killer. So, yeah. Especially if he's holding like a gas chainsaw. Even if it's an electrical one, it might be just an environmental friendly serial killer. Just be careful out there. Thank you.